How's it going, people? Salmon Slapper here, and this is your complete guide to the quest Plague's End. Start to finish, no music, no skipping, game on, just what you need to know. So, quest requirements: you need to have done catapult construction. You also need making history and within the light complete. Item requirements: you need 10 magic logs, 1 gold charm, 1 green charm, 1 crimson charm, 1 blue charm, 1 summoning pouch, 200 spirit shards, 1 plant cure, 1 rune bar, and a full set of Mourner gear. Skill wise, you need 75 construction, dungeoneering, agility, crafting, herblore, mining, prayer, and summoning. Optional items you might want to consider is the ring of kinship, the tiny elf crystal with teleports to Letia. You'll need 6 or more of those, so you best stock up on them. A beast of burden is also incredibly useful, as item management is a bit of a problem in this quest. And obviously for the boss at the end of it, you'll want some kind of stat boosting gear like overload, extremes, super pot, something like that. Additionally, your prayer pot super restores, super prayers or renewals, and you can always mix in brews if you need to, depending on your level. So to start this quest, you need to talk to Arianwin in Letia in the easternmost house. So, without further ado then, let's get into it. So with all of those item requires on you, and some space in your yak, your inventory is going to be pretty much packed. I highly recommend using range or mage for most of this quest. Either way, talk to Arianwin and just choose let's go and you'll start the quest. Quickly run through all of her chat, and tell him you have the disguise with you. And then, I'm ready to teleport, option 1. You'll be teleported to the end of Within the Light. Talk to Arianwin once you're here, and then just say OK. So, fully equip all of the Mourner gear, that's the entire set of Mourners you should have on right now, and then run to the door to your west. So once you're in here, go and open the door directly in front of you. Make sure you do have your Mourners on by this point. As soon as you do, a death guard will start talking to you. So choose option 3, we thought it was a mouse. Then option 2, it might get the food. And then option 1, we knew you were busy. Once you've done that, head on through the door and head through the western room. So in this western room, go ahead and talk to the Mourners here. And they'll walk out, and you now own this room pretty much. Go ahead and talk to Iston Edern, and choose option 1, what are you doing? Then option 1, what is this power source? Then option 2, the captain wants you to hurry. Quickly run through the chat and you'll receive a scroll. Once you have the scroll in hand, head out through the northern door. So you'll be at the Elven camp. At this point, just run directly to your west and then up to your north. Ignore what I'm doing on screen now. So as I said, head west, then go up to your north as I'm doing now, and in the very north side of this elven camp you will find the Prifddinas mayor. Go ahead and talk to him. Quickly run through his chat, and choose option 2, I've got a report. So at this point you now want to head directly to the south side of Prifddinas' little camp here, to where the gnomes and the Mourners are standing. Once you're here, go ahead and talk to the Mourner. Run through the chat and then choose option 1, the mayor wants you to distribute the food. Once you've done that, head back to the mayor's house up in the north side of the camp. So choose option 1, the guards are distributing the food, and the mayor will run off. As soon as he's out of the room, go ahead and take the IO-Earth master plans on the desk right where he was standing. So with the master plans in hand, it's time to go back to the original elf we talked to, Edern. So to do that, you just simply head to the east of the camp and make your way back into the building. So once you're back in here, go ahead and talk to Edern once again. Quickly run through the chat and choose option 1, I have a document. Then choose option 1, how do you know they're going to kill him? And then option 1, how will that help Lord IO-Earth? Then option 2, how can we stop him? So once you've run through all the chat, go ahead and talk to Arianen. And then choose option 2, OK. At this point you want to home teleport and we're heading over to Ardone. So as soon as you arrive in Ardone, you want to be heading to the chapel, right in the middle of East Ardone. So from the home teleport, run around the west side of the bank and then head directly south until you hit the crossroads. So as soon as you hit the crossroads, you're literally right next to the church, and inside the graveyard or in this rough area you will find Councillor Hargreth. So go ahead and talk to the councillor. And then choose option 1, I need to show you this document. At this point your inventory might be a bit of a hassle, so go ahead and put some of the items inside your yak so you do have some inventory room. Once you do have space, go ahead and talk to him again and simply choose the same option. I have this document. Once you've got some inventory space, he will then give you a note as well. So with the note in hand from the councillor, it's now time to head to West Ardone. So directly from here, head west and then around the north side of the castle, and then head west again. And go ahead and enter West Ardee. So upon entering West Ardone, you want to head to the main large house right in this centre, right next to the courtyard. This one right by here. Head on inside, and as soon as you are, go up the right hand set of stairs on the east side. Head into the eastern room and you'll find an NPC in here called Bravik. Go ahead and talk to him. Then choose option 1, I need to show you this document. And then choose option 3, we need to overthrow the mourners. At this point you'll need inventory space again, so go ahead and micromanage your inventory. And then if you didn't get it the first time, talk to him again, same thing again, just say we need to overthrow the mourners. At which point he will then give you a note with a bunch of names on it. So once you have the note in hand, head back downstairs, and it's time to collect up these people. So head out into the courtyard to begin with, and on the east side of this little courtyard you will find the first person we need to talk to, Jethic. He'll be wandering somewhere around this area. So go ahead and talk to him. Make sure you're not wearing the mourner's gear, otherwise none of these people will talk to you. So go ahead and take that off and talk to them. So first one's up is talk to Jethic, and then choose option 1. We want to start a revolution. As soon as you do, he will disappear. Once he's gone, go ahead and enter East Ardone. And from the castle, you want to go almost directly north, and we need to talk to Eleanor, the same person we talked to in Plague City and Biohazard. So she's in this house right here, literally just north of the castle on the eastern side. Talk to her and same thing again. Say yes and it's time to stop them, option 1. And she will also join the revolution and disappear. So once you've got her, it's now time to go back to West Ardone again. So once you've arrived back in West Ardone, head almost directly to your north. And we go into the building you first entered in the Plague City quest. So it's this building right at the very top of the north. This little shack here. Once you're inside, go ahead and talk to either Martha or Ted. And run through the options and then choose option 1, join the revolution. As soon as you do, both of those will then disappear. So from this point on, you want to head slightly to your southwest. So you just skip past the giant mansion on the western side. From there, head almost directly to your south. And the next person on the list is Dr. Sarah. And she's in the southern westernmost house directly to the south of that large mansion. Right here. So go ahead and talk to Dr. Sarah. And same thing as the others, literally tell her to join your revolution. So option 1, I'd rebuild her if you join us. As soon as you do so, she will also disappear. From this point on, you want to head almost directly to your northwest, slightly to the north of the graveyard, and then past this first set of houses here. And just to the northwest of this, you will find a woman NPC walking around in a vibrant purple outfit, pretty much. Hard to miss her. Go ahead and talk to this bird, Carla, and tell her to also join your revolution. So once you've done that, head almost directly to your west and it's time to pick up the last NPC. Run all the way west as if you was going to the underground cave. And just at the entrance, you will find the guide. And we need to speak to him, Mr. Koftik. So, same thing again, tell him to join the revolution. So once you've done that, you now have all of the NPCs to join the revolution. You now want to head back to the entrance of West Ardone, and just to the north of it is the Mourner's HQ. It's the same place you had to go through in Mourner's End Part 2 to get towards the Temple of the Light. It's that building. But just before you go there, literally to the south of the main courtyard, you'll find the church. This is where all your revolutionaries are. So head on inside and then say, yes, I'll explain everything. It's entirely up to you if you want to explain anything to them at all, but you can just say enough, it's time to strike. As soon as you are ready, just choose option 4, enough, it's time to strike, and you'll begin your revolution. So as soon as you do, all the revolutionaries will disappear, and they will now be outside the entrance to the Mourner HQ. At this point, you now want to head directly to your northeast, and it's time to raid them. So this is the first fight of this quest, and it's literally against relatively low levels, so you shouldn't have any problem here whatsoever. Literally go in and slaughter everyone. They're all level 33 combat, so it's fairly straightforward, and they typically die in one hit. So once they're all dead, you want to head into the western room. And inside this western room is the trapdoor. Go ahead and climb down. So once you're down here, you now need to kill all of the mourners outside. These are slightly higher level, level 85 combat. But still, if you have a decent combat level, you shouldn't have any problem at all killing these lot. In fact, you could probably do it without taking any damage. So either way, once you're here, just lay waste to everything in sight. So once all the mourners outside are dead, head into the room with the remaining mourner. This is the leader. He's level 100 combat, and again is fairly straightforward. He does have 16k HP, but he does drop pretty quickly. So as soon as he's dead, you'll start having a conversation with him. Just choose option 1, I'll ask some questions. Then option 1, what happened to the gnome? Then option 1, how are you going to summon the Dark Lord? And then option 2, who is the Dark Lord? Then option 3, enough questions. And then it's up to you whether you want to save him or kill him. Personally, I'll kill him. So at this point, if you don't have any inventory space, you will need some. So it's time for a bit of micromanagement of your inventory again. So lob some more stuff in your yak if you haven't already. And you'll need an inventory space to pick up an item here. So once you've done, talk to Eleanor and she will give you a flag. So with the flag in hand, you want to head back up the stairs the same way you came in. And then head up the spiral staircase directly in front of you. And on the east side of this building, there will be a flag which you can replace. Go ahead and replace the standard, and you'll have a little cutscene. So once the cutscene's over, the knights will disappear, and it's time that we head to Ardome Castle. So from here, make your way back downstairs, going down the spiral staircase, then head to the eastern room, then out of the building. At which point you want to go to East Ardome, and we're going to King Lathus' castle. So, as you're coming up to King Lathus' castle, directly at the entrance you will see one of the knights, Sir Edmund, which was in the cutscene. Go ahead and talk to him, and then choose yes. You may have to do this a few times, as when I did it, it wouldn't spawn properly for me. You'll know when it is, because there'll be a bunch of people fighting inside the castle itself, if it's been done correctly. So keep talking to him and keep saying yes until eventually it works like this. So as soon as everyone's fighting inside the castle, you want to head directly upstairs. And then you want to head into King Lathus' room. And this is the next little fight of this quest. So go ahead and talk to King Lathus. And then you'll start a fight with Sir Hugo. Go ahead and annihilate him. He's 107 combat, but he is pretty weak. So you shouldn't have much problem. As soon as you've dropped Hugo, go ahead and talk to King Lathus. And again, you'll have a bunch of options. Choose option 1, answer my questions. Then option 1, why were you helping Lord Ironworth? Then option 1, did you know they were going to kill everybody? Then option 1, you're lying. Then option 2, who is the Dark Lord? Then option 3, enough questions, and it's up to you whether you want to exile him or kill him. I think I'm a sadist because I like to kill people. So there we go. That is the next section done. So at this point you now want to head back to Llediad, so go ahead and teleport with your elf crystal. And then head over to the eastern side towards the bank. So go ahead and use the bank. We're going to do a bit of management here. If you need to refresh your yak or your beast of burden, now is probably going to be the time to do it. In fact, it's probably the best time for you to do it, to be totally honest, as the next section is pretty long, and the next time you bank after that will be just before the boss, pretty much. So once you've done all that, go ahead and talk to Arianen and teleport back to the hideout. Re-equip your full Mourner set, and talk to Arianen again. Then choose option 1, how will we regrow the city? Then option 1, who is the Dark Lord? Then option 2, okay, what do I do? Then option 1, Arianen as Lord Kadan. Then option 1, yes, teleport me to Hlethia now. So once you're here, you want to talk to Gwia. She can be found in the north side of this little building. And then choose option 1, I need to find the elders. And then search the bookcase just to the northwest of her, and then choose option 1, the lost elders. Again, this is going to require a bit of inventory micromanagement, but if you have a Bob with you, you shouldn't have too much trouble. So once your inventory's been sorted, pick up that book, The Lost Elders, and go ahead and quickly read through it. Well, you can just open it up and close it, to be totally honest, but go ahead and read through it. Once you've done that, go ahead and talk to Gwia, and then choose option 1, I need to find the elders. And run through every single one of these options, all of the elder names. So once you've done all of that, you can re-equip your armor, if you're bringing it along with you. And it's now time to find all of the lost elders, which does take a bit of work. So first things first, you want to exit Hlethia through the western side, and then head directly north. Then go through the trees right here. You then want to go almost directly to your west and pass a tripwire. Then almost directly to your west-northwest again, and go through the dense forest. So once you've passed through the dense forest, it's now time to head to your northeast. You then want to jump over the leaf trap pit, right here. 99 agility and still fail that thing. So you want to jump over these leaves, and once you're past them, you want to head almost directly to your east, as we're going into the entrance of the underground pass. So head into the cave entrance, and once in here, on the south side of this room, there will be a little crumbling wall which you can break open. Right here. So go ahead and break this with your pickaxe. Your tool belt works, so no worries. And head on inside. So once you're inside here, there are 3 Order Maidens which will attack you. They all use different combat styles, and you shouldn't really have too much trouble as they are level 70. So either way, annihilate all 3 of these. So once all 3 are dead, you can go ahead and wake Lady Trehorn, who's sitting in the chair. So to do this, you need the rune bar in your inventory. So if you've stocked it on your yak, it's time to get it out now. So with the rune bar in your inventory, just go ahead and talk to her and you'll end up waking her up. So once she's awake, you can go ahead and just simply choose option 4. It's time I'm gathering the clan leaders. And that's pretty much the option you're going to be using for all of these elders. So that's 1 down. Good times. So at this point, you now want to home port and head over to Catherby. So once you're at Catherby, you want to charter a boat over to Port Tyrus, which is pretty straightforward. Just go to the bank, head south, onto the dock, all the way down to the bottom, and charter a ship. Job done. So make your way to Port Tyrus. It'll cost you a K, well, what, 1.6k. Not particularly expensive. And once you're over here, you want to head over to your east into Tyrus Camp. Once you're inside the Tyrus Camp, you want to exit it through the north side. And as soon as you're out on the north side, you want to head all the way over towards your east. So once you hit this point and you're right next to the bears, don't go any further. These set of dead trees here and the dense trees, this is where we actually need to go. You'd need to pass the first dense tree, and you'll see this old dead looking tree with an inspect option rather than a cut option. Literally right by here. This is the tree you need. So what you need to do is first of all inspect it by simply left clicking on it, and then you need to use your plant cure on it. So if, like me, you've stored your plant cure on your yak, just go ahead and pick it out. And then go ahead and cure the tree. As soon as you do so, that is the second lord. So go ahead and choose option 4, it's time. And that's 2 down. Good times. So at this point you can drop the vial, you no longer need it, and it's now time to teleport back to Ledia once again. So for this little section here, it took me ages in the actual game, so I re-recorded over this, so my inventory is empty at the moment, but don't worry about it. We need to find symbols, and they're planted all across Ledia itself. The first symbol you can find in the bank right by here in this little corner. All you need to do is simply click on it, and in your chat you'll have 1 out of 5 discovered. As soon as you found that one, you want to head over to the northwestern building, this building right by here, and head upstairs. Directly in front of you on the western wall will be the second symbol you need to find. All you need to do again is simply click on it. Your chat will update it with 2 out of 5. Once you've done that, climb down and head into the arrow shop in the southwest corner. This one right here. And this one's straightforward as well. On the middle wall, if you look at it from the south side, you'll see another symbol here. Again, simply click on it and that'll be 3 out of 5. Your chat will update you with this as well. So the fourth one, if you head into the southernmost building, and if you turn your camera on the bottom floor, don't go up the stairs like I am in the video now. On this bottom floor in the southernmost building, if you look at it from the eastern side, you'll see the fourth symbol right by here. Go ahead and click on this, and that is your 4 out of 5. Once you've got the fourth one, then you head up the stairs and head over to the east side right next to the altar. So the last symbol is on the north side of this wall, on the outside of it. So look at it from the north and you'll see it in this corner here. Go ahead and click on it and that'll be 5 out of 5. When you do so, in the center of that here, there'll be like a weird transparent statue kind of thing that appears. So once you got 5 out of 5, simply come down to here. If you haven't got all of the items on you at the moment, right now you need all of your mage logs in order to build this statue. This is the point where your inventory management becomes quite a lot easier, to be totally honest. So with all your mage legs on you, you need 10 of them, mage logs, sorry. Go ahead and simply click on the transparent statue and just build it. Simple as that. This will use up all your logs and you are now free from the inventory burden. So as soon as it's been built, you want to head up either one of these stairs here, right in the central area. And right in front of you, you will find Kellen. Just go ahead and talk to her and that will be another Lord complete. Choose option 4, it's time to go. So my inventory is still the same as before this little point, nothing has changed at all. It's just for that point, I took so long trying to find those symbols when I was doing it myself, I had to cut it down and just make a brand new one just for you. So at this point, you now want to head into your bank and it's time to stock up on a few things. So you can stack up some rocktails with you just for safety's sake. There's no actual fights yet, and I will bank just before the boss and I'll tell you about that as well. But you might want to resummon your Beast of Burden at this point, because by now it should probably have run out or been close to it. So at this point, go ahead and lob loads and loads of food inside your Beast of Burden, as this beast should last up until you complete this quest by now. So you can stack them up just with food and food only. If you are a really low level, then you can use the brews and super restores instead if you wish. It will heal you quite a lot more. The brews and restores is an option. Either way, just pack him full of munchies. So at this point, your inventory should look something along the lines of: you have a bunch of scrolls from this quest so far, a few rocktails, empty pouch, your 4 different charms, your 200 spirit shards, and the entire Mourner set. And your yak should just be full of munchies of doom. So with that done, go ahead and talk to Gwir on the north side of this room once again, and talk to her about Lord Amloth. So once you do, she will give you a charm. If you had the inventory space before, you already have this charm in your inventory. So with the charm in hand, you now need to make a special pouch. The quickest and probably the easiest way to do this is simply teleport to Taverley and then use the obelisk there to create it. So, with that said, head to Taverley. So once you're at Taverley, just head over to the east side so you can use the summoning obelisk. And go ahead and create this special pouch. All you need to do is simply click on the obelisk and the option to make the Amloth pouch will become available. So go ahead and create it, and once you do, it'll use up all your spirit shards and your pouches and your charms and junk, and you'll have an Amloth pouch. Go ahead and click on it to summon him. Once you do, just choose option 4, it's time I'm gathering the clan leaders, and that is another one done. So at this point you now want to head over to the bank. So the bank is literally to the west, or literally just south of the home port. If you want a home port again, either way. And what we need from the bank is a Super Defense Potion 3. So with the Super Defense in hand, it's now time to teleport back to Thletia, so go ahead and do so. So it's now time to hop across the Poison Wastes. To do that, you want to head out the western exit of Thletia and then up to the north and pass through the first set of trees. As soon as you've passed through it, you now want to run directly to your south to where the magic trees are, and then keep going south. So, once you're here, you now need to cross the entirety of the Poison Wastes. I have chucked a little map on screen, it's covering my chat at the moment, so if you prefer to pause the video and do this via that, go ahead. Either way, once you're here, just jump south-south, and south again onto the first island, and then head across the southern stones to the second island. Then you want to cross the southern stones again, and head to the third island. And then head west to jump onto the fourth island. And then you want to head to the northern ones to the fifth island. Then across the northwestern to the sixth island. Then to the western to get to the seventh island. And again to the western to get to the eighth island. You then want to go to the far southwestern version of these stepping stones to get to the ninth island. And then head to the west to get to the 10th island. And then north to the 11th island. Then west to the 12th island. Then north to the 13th island. Then west to the 15th island. West again for the 17th island. Or 16th, I might have missed one. Then southwest for the next island. And then south for the next island. Then west for the next. And then west again. And west again. And you are done. So once you're here on this island, you will see a little elf hermit here. Just go ahead and talk to her. And then choose option 1, are you Lady Heaven? Then choose option 1, I wish to seek the wisdom of Seren. Then choose option 2, Seren's faithfulness to the elves. Then option 1, the symmetry of crystals. Then option 3, I don't know. And then choose option 4, it's time to gather the clan leaders. So there is another clan leader down. Good times. So at this point you want to teleport back to Llhedia once again. And we're going to be talking to Gwir again. And choose option 1 about the elders. And then talk about Lady Melia. And she will give you a piece of paper. If your inventory was empty before, you will have this paper already. But if, like me, your inventory was completely packed, then you would need to do this. So just to cover all bases. So with this paper in hand, you can go ahead and read it, and it'll give you an ingredients list. So at this point, it's now time to bank once again. So now you need to draw out your Daemonheim ring, the ring of kinship, as we need to travel to Daemonheim in a moment. Not yet though. So with the Daemonheim ring in hand, as well as your super defense potion and all of the notes, as well as your full Mourner set, and your yak full of munchies, head out of Llhedia, and head up to the north, and then through the first set of trees. Once you're through the first set of trees, head to your west and travel over the tripwire once again. Once you're across, you want to head through the dense forest to your west once again. Only this time, once you're through the dense forest, instead of going northeast, we're going southwest. So literally to your southwest you'll see giant blue mushrooms. Go ahead and pick one of them up. From this point head up to the northwest just a touch, and eventually you'll come across some small red mushrooms. Go ahead and pick one of those up. If you haven't read the note for we just got from Gwir yet, now is the time to do it. As soon as you've opened it up, you can go ahead and close it, and it's time to make a potion. So you want to crush the red mushroom and the blue mushroom, and then use either one on your super defense potion, and that'll create a Melia pot. So once you've got the Melia pot in hand, it's now time to head up to Daemonheim, so go ahead and teleport with your Ring of Kinship. So once you're up here, you want to head north and walk inside the castle for dungeoneering. So just walk up into this main area right here, stand anywhere you want, and then take a sip of the Melia pot. Once you do so, a portal will randomly appear. Go ahead and jump into it, and inside this room you will find Melia, another elven elder. So just go ahead and talk to her. Choose option 4, it's time to gather. And she'll disappear. Good times! We're going somewhere now. So once you've done all that, it's going to the point where we are about to go into the boss. So it's time to teleport back to Damonheim, because that's pretty simple and nice and easy. And head up to your bank. Currently your Bob should be full of Munchies of Doom, so your Bob is alright, and he's already sorted. So you want to get rid of all of the random notes, as we don't actually need those on us for this next section. You can also get rid of your Ring of Kinship. Keep the TheCompleteRS crystal on you, as it'll be easy to get out of there with. If needs be, you can re-summon your Beast of Burden if the time is running a bit low, as the next section can take you a little while. The boss isn't particularly hard, but many people have been complaining about it being difficult. His attacks are pretty predictable and fairly straightforward, so if you can get that down, you shouldn't have any problem at all. Either way, your imagery should look something along the lines of full Morna set, a bunch of Munchies, Overload, Renewal, Super Prey, maybe some Brews, some Super Restores, and runes if you're using Mage, arrows and whatever if you're using Range. I would highly recommend Range or Mage for this section, because melee is really difficult for this set because of the way the boss attacks. So once you're ready, head to Letia and talk to Arianen to teleport back to the base. This is where we begin the boss trial. So once you're here, go ahead and talk to Arianen. You will need your Morna set on, sorry. And then choose option 3 once you finish talking to her. You then want to home teleport over to Catherby, and we're going to be chartering another ship down to Prifddinas. And this is the last set before we do the puzzles and the boss. So at this point is literally just going down to Prifddinas, and you want to talk to the general there. So once you're here, head in to the Prifddinas camp and talk to General Heining. And then choose option 4. And General Heining will agree to assist you in your revolution/fight. So once you've done that, it's now time to teleport back to Letia and talk to Arianen to head back to the base. And this is where the fight and the puzzles begin. So at this point I would probably recommend logging your character out, simply so you can keep the summoning timer, and watching the entirety of the next section, because it's difficult to explain as well as tell you what to do with the puzzles. So the boss itself will spawn after a few rounds of this little light puzzle. So on screen in a moment I'm going to put the answers to all of these light puzzles, and I'll hover them over my chat box. So if you ever need it, you can always pause the screen and you'll find the answers there. Whichever you find easiest. I will try to explain as I go along. But each time you complete one of these puzzles, a bunch of monsters spawn. And basically the idea is you complete a puzzle, you kill all of those, and eventually the boss appears round after round, and you go through it, eventually getting more and more difficult. But the boss's pattern is relatively straightforward. So as you can see, the answer is on screen at the moment. All you need to do is simply click on pillars to add mirrors. You can right click and remove if you accidentally place them somewhere that's not meant to be. So you can follow these little pictures in my chat box right now, and those are the light puzzles in a nutshell. Pretty damn straightforward, to be totally honest. we shouldn't take you all that long. Also, there's no threat from danger whilst doing the puzzles, so that's good. Or I suppose I should talk about the boss before he starts appearing. So the boss himself has quite a lot of HP, and he will also spawn other shadows, and you'll notice right now as I complete it, these are 2 basic shadows, and these don't actually appear after about stage 4. So these you can one-shot no problem at all. They're pretty easy, even though they're level 98 combat. But eventually bigger shadows start spawning, and then the boss spawns, and he always spawns in the center. So the boss himself, he'll lob out attacks, and if you stand still, the attacks will do huge damage against you. And occasionally he'll attack and it'll send out like a little small shockwave on the floor. You'll see it if you pay close attention to when the boss starts attacking me. There'll be little light white shockwaves that appear just before he attacks. If you're still standing on that spot when that attack goes off, it's like a huge dot if you're standing there, and it does, well, on me it was doing about 1100 damage. So standing there for any length of time is just simply bad news. So that's the second puzzle complete, and this is the second shade. These are the chunky shades. These are the ones that will appear with the boss. It's got 9k HP, so it takes a little bit of doing to actually finish them off. But honestly, at my level we're in Sea Singers, I didn't seem to be taking a huge amount of damage from these, so not much to worry about if you're a high level. Lower level, maybe they will be. So general tactic is probably to take out those general shades, then take out the boss, because the boss's damage can almost be entirely invaded. But those shockwaves, they do a huge dot, so that is your main concern. They will do anywhere between about 900 to about 1200 damage from what I can remember after killing this boss. So the damage is pretty monstrous, but it's simple to avoid. You just have to move. It is that simple, honestly. So the general tactic for the boss is if you're using melee, you will have to run around back and forth. The problem is when he chucks down his attacks, they kind of stay there for quite a long period of time. So if you're melee in, you'll be attacking and then you'll have to perfectly time your move from the massive eruption to just one square away so you avoid it. And you'll have to do that every time so you can circle around the entire boss and kill it within the time period before all of those squares are filled with these black clouds, which will just annihilate you. So Ranger Mage are honestly the best bet for this. This is your first sight of the boss now. So you should be able to see the little light pulses on the floor. There you go, right there. So just before he attacks, you see that little light pulse. You need to move before that explodes, and again. And those little orbs, they stay in the stage for quite a period of time. So generally, taking on this boss, that's all you need to do is avoid them. General tactics, at least when I was using Mage, never use Asphyxiate. If you're stuck in place for any period of time, you will get raped, pretty much. So stick to stuff like Wildfire and your general slap attacks. And all you need to do is just pay attention to those eruptions on the floor. The easiest method, and you'll notice as this goes through, as I was getting towards the end stages, the easiest way to do it is attack 2 to 3 times with your basic 3 skills. So mine 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 4 if one is on cooldown. And all you need to do is cycle through those. And every second attack, and occasionally third, then you move. And all you need to do is move 1 or 2 spots. And you'll be able to avoid it with relative ease, to be totally honest. But that's pretty much the rest of this quest. It's literally these little light puzzles. Nothing will attack you whilst these are going on. And the boss will always spawn in the center, and each time you complete stages after he appears, more shades appear. And all you simply need to do is finish off those shades, then take out the boss, or you can kill the boss first, then take out the shades. Either way, it doesn't particularly matter. But if you're a low level, killing off the shades will be your best bet to begin with. If you're high level, you can take out the boss, so you don't have to worry about moving around and the black orbs, and you can just focus on taking out the small fry. Either way, whichever tactic suits you. The only thing you need to worry about is that boss's attack. This is what people have been having trouble with, from what I can see. But as soon as you recognise the pattern, it's the same every time. So it's literally just move straight away as soon as the fight starts. And then every 2-3 attacks, move again, and you'll avoid the next pulse. And that's all this boss is. The rest is just taking them all out in a timely manner. So hopefully I explained that well enough for you to understand what to do on this boss. If not, you do have the video proof in front of you because I'm doing it. So it's literally as soon as you see that pulse move. And once you do that, this boss shouldn't pose any problem to you at all, even if you're higher or lower level. As you can see there, I stood in place and it's a dot and instantly did 2200 HP damage. And that's from like 2 seconds worth of attacking. So I mean, as long as you pay attention to it and you don't try to go overboard, trying to take advantage of dealing damage, then you'll be fine. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. So this is the 5th light puzzle, and it starts up in the northwest corner. So the first one you want to pull is directly in front of the light, and you don't need to move the mirror. Then one north above it, don't change the mirror. Then one to the east of it, rotate the mirror once. Then head south to the 4th node, and rotate the mirror once. Then head east 2 and rotate the mirror once. Then head south 1 and rotate the mirror once. Then head east 2 and then don't rotate the mirror. Then go north 1 and place it. Then go east 1, place it. Then go north 2 and place again and rotate the mirror. And with that you'll have a full cycle around the room. Let's go ahead and charge the crystal. So this is the next cycle of the boss. He spawns shades again, and it's the same tactic as usual. All you need to do is avoid his pulses on the floor, and you'll have no problem at all fighting him. So before you start the next light puzzle, make sure you finish off all the shades in the room, because you don't want to be taking any extra damage that you don't actually need to. So once they're all dead, we now move to the northwestern crystal. And this puzzle's fairly straightforward. This is the first time you will see places where mirrors are already locked in position. There's no problem at all, it's just to give an indication, nice and straightforward. But starting from the crystal itself, you want to head all the way to the east side, on the top level, and go ahead and place the mirror. And this will need to be rotated. Then head all the way to the southeast corner, and place a mirror. Then all the way to the southwest corner and place a mirror, then rotate it. Then head all the way to the northwest corner and place a mirror. The next mirror in the stage is already set. From there you want to head all the way to the south in the 2nd column and then north 1 and place a mirror and rotate it. Then head east 4 and place a mirror. Then head north 4 and place a mirror and rotate it. Then head west 3 and place a mirror. Then head south 3 and place a mirror and rotate it. Then head east 2 and place a mirror. Then north 2, place a mirror and rotate it. And then west and place a mirror. So once you've done all that, go ahead and pull the crystal to start the next stage of the boss fight. There's the same deal again, summon shades, avoid this pulse attack, and yeah, pretty straightforward, shouldn't have a problem. So from this stage on, it can become a bit more complicated. There are more shades on the screen, so if you decide to kill the greater shadows before you kill the boss, it basically gives the boss more chance to use his pulse attack. And as you can see, he can start kind of blocking you in with them depending on where you're walking whilst he is attacking. And quite a few of those little orbs can stay on the screen at the same time. So you do need to be relatively quick killing the greater shadows, or move very, very little in order to kind of make the most room on the map available to you. Like I said before, if you was using melee, then you're standing at this distance and he'd just be encircled by his attacks and you wouldn't be able to touch him. And that's why using range or mage is obviously going to be the better choice in this little fight. It is possible to kill him with melee, don't get me wrong, but honestly, it's a hell of a lot easier with range and mage. So you are moving on to the next light puzzle. It's fairly straightforward again. So from the first mirror you want to head east one and rotate it. And then you want to head south one and rotate, don't rotate, sorry. Then you want to head west 3 and place. Then south 1 and place. And west 2 and place. Then south 3 and place and rotate. Then east 2 and place and rotate. Then south 1, place and rotate. Then east 3, place. Then north 2, place and rotate. Then west 1, place and rotate. And finally north 1, place. And that begins the next round of the boss. So there's that stage down. As I said, The dark orbs can pile up, as you've seen. There was plenty of them on screen, so if you were using melee, you kind of need to be very, very careful. Even when you're using medium range, you can get a bit sticky in situations. So either way, this is the next puzzle. It's from the northeastern side. The first mirror is already done, so head north one and place, then east one place, then north one place and rotate, and west 2 is already placed, and south 3 is already placed. From there, head east 2 and place and rotate, then head south 3 in the far bottom right corner and place, then west 1 and north 2 place, and follow the mirrors around until you go south 1 and you can place, and then go to the far southwest corner and place and rotate it, then follow the mirror north and then go to east and go ahead and place, and then follow the mirrors and go north 1 and west 2 and go ahead and place, and then up in the northwest corner go ahead and place. From there, head east 1, south 1, place and rotate. From there, head east 1, north 1 and go ahead and place. Then head east 1 and go ahead and place and rotate. And that is that for that section. So go ahead and pull the crystal, and job done. So that is the end of the quest. So the boss is fairly straightforward. It's nice and easy if you can manage his attack pattern. It's fairly straightforward, to be totally honest. You shouldn't have too much trouble at all. So at this point you can go ahead and open up your bank with this NPC. Go ahead and deposit everything and you'll receive your reward. It's quite a lot. So once you're ready, go ahead and talk to Ariana. She's literally right next to where you came in, right by here. And you will receive your reward. So it's 2 quest points and 50k XP lamps in agility, crafting, construction, dungeoneering, herblore, mining, prayer, range summoning and woodcutting. You gain the title of the elves if you wish. You also gain the Traherne exoskeleton armor set, and you can now access Prifddinas, and you'll gain 2 treasure hunter keys. So there we go. The exoskeleton set is meant to be useful for thieving. I haven't actually looked into it yet, but I'm sure more information will be ready by the time you've done this quest anyway, so yeah, there you go. So that is your complete quest guide for Plague's End. Hope you all found it useful and you've now completed it. If you have, good job! Until next time, I will catch you all later. Have a good one.